Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to the segment of Code Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day. Our recitation continues with the composition of Gur Arjan in the Rag Sorat. The recitation first. Sorat Mahalla Panjama, Gur Pura Aradhe, Karaj Sagle Sadhe, Sagal Manorath Pure, Baje Anhad Ture, Santo Ram Japat Sukh Paya, Sant Asthane Base Sukh Sehje, Sagle Dukh Mitaya, Rahao, Gur Pure Ki Bani, Par Brahm Mane Bani, Pani, Gur Pure Ki Bani, Par Brahm Man Pani, Nanak Das Vakhani, Nirmal Akath Kahani, Gur Pure Ki Bani, Par Brahm Man Pani, Nanak Das Vakhani, Nirmal Akath Kahani. So we are continuing, in a sense, with the theme of the Pura Gur, perfection, that perfect enlightener, and the fact that it represents a perfection. So we'll probably get a deeper insight into what that perfection really means. So this Sabad, the first verse, begins with Gur Pura Aradhe, Karj Sagle Sadhe. Worship of the perfect Guru Enlightener will resolve all your affairs, Karj Sagle Sadhe, and all your goals will be accomplished, Sagal Manorath Pure. And then what will happen is you will, quote unquote, hear the music of the unstruck melody within. Bajje Anhadature. Now, we've already seen that in the previous passage, the previous Shabad that we considered, that the perfection of wisdom of this Gur makes us wholesome. When it said Gur Pure Puri Kini, the perfect Gur Enlightener has made me whole. So we become whole or wholesome, and we'll talk about that in a second, through the worship of the Gur, which is perfection itself. Gur Pura Aradhe. It is through Aradhe, worship of this perfection, that we become wholesome ourselves. Aradhe, which literally means worship, the implication here is that you have to emulate. Aradhe means to emulate, to become like. So we have to become perfection like. So you can see that this is an aspirational goal, right? Because one is never perfect. And we are talking about an infinity. So our aspirational goal is to always move in that direction. So, in other words, what has to happen is the way I understand it. Perfection is a fusion of the head, of the heart, of logic, of intuition. We are fragmented because we emphasize one over the other. Ordinarily, we rely mainly on logical analysis, for example, to make sense of the world around us, do we not? Because we remain preoccupied with measuring and making sense of data. What we do in the process is we neglect or discount, if you will, aesthetic and intuitive information. So when intuitive information presents itself, we neglect it because we are so preoccupied with raw data and trying to make meaning. So what happens in that process is that we are simply reacting to data being given to us through our senses, rather than being creative and directing the flow of events. And for that you require intuitive knowledge. You have to awaken your intuitive and irrational faculties. You can't just be rational, because rational cannot happen without irrational. So you have to link the two. That is the fusion of the head and the heart. Gurmat lays a lot of value on intuitive knowledge. It wants us to combine the two, marry the two. It is only when you marry the two that you have cognitive knowledge. On the one hand, you know how to analyze and measure data, but intuition will give you a personal vision of how to use that data, you see, and you have to trust the balance between them. In the Rahau, Santoh Ram Japat Sukh Paya, addressing seekers, the Guru says, through this process, I realized the all-pervasive presence of Ram. And then I found peace, Sukhapaya. And where the wise come together, Sant Asthane, meaning where the Guru is present, where wisdom and knowledge is present, there, Base Sukha Sahaj, peace arises naturally and spontaneously. And when that happens, obviously all pain disappears. Sukh Sahaj, Sagale Dukh Mitaya. Sahaj Sukh hoya, effortlessly, and Sagale Dukh Mitaya. So this is also a relational thing. You have to be in that field along with other evolved individuals. They create this field of wisdom that impacts you. And in conclusion, Gur Pure ki Bani Par Brahmane Pani, the utterance of the perfect Guru, meaning the wisdom that I have gotten, establishes the presence of the Supreme Being. That's the vision. And that vision is pleasing. Par Brahmane Pani, it pleases the mind. Here's the establishment of that vision. The all-pervasive Ram. You realize that. And Nanak, the servant, Nanak Das Vakhari, has described this. Nirmal Akat Kahani. He's tried to describe the indescribable. So this wisdom comes from a state of wholeness, which is symbolized by the Guru, and it reveals to us that there is this all-pervasive Supreme Being who is also perfection and our Guru. This all-pervasive Ram, addressed also as Thakur, as Sahib, as Gobind, if you will, as Har, is indeed our master. Hum chakar Gobind ke. So we are instruments. But the Guru has given us the capacity to be like it, to aspire for that perfection. Do it right now. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.